Hi everybody, it's David from Doctors of Running, and today we have a fun episode. We're going to be comparing two super shoes on the market. We've got the Nike Vaporfly Next% 2 and the Puma Deviate NItro Elite. Both of these shoes are very similar in the racing category. Very similar specifications. In the Puma Deviate NItro Elite, we're looking at 36 millimeters in the heel, 28 millimeters in the forefoot, 8 millimeter drop, 6.7 ounces, men's size 9, and then we're also looking at a carbon fiber plate and a nitrogen infused Puma midsole called NItro Elite that they use. The Nike Vaporfly Next% 2, basically the gold standard every company has been shooting for at this point. 40 millimeters of stack in the heel, 32 millimeters of stack in the forefoot, 6.9 ounces, and a P backspace midsole, also using a carbon fiber plate. Both of these shoes share a lot of similarities, but in this video I'm going to break down a couple of just real quick things to take note to see if one may suit you or the other. I will say off the bat, for me personally, the way the shoe is constructed in my own biomechanics, the Puma Deviate NItro Elite does tend to work better for me. With that said, I'm going to stay very objective throughout this. So with the Nike Next% 2, you are a little bit higher up in the heel. The ZoomX foam is a little bit firmer. Plenty of cushioning underfoot in both of these models. Looking at the last, it's relatively narrow in the Next% 2. If we put them together, it's definitely more narrow on this guy on the Next% 2. The forefoot widens out a little bit, but still stays relatively slim profile through the whole shoe. Really locks your foot down, gives you an athletic feel, gives you a poppy toe off. The heel lockdown could be better. I know that's not just me that has had that problem. I have heel locked this and done all kinds of things to try and get that to lock in a little bit better. But overall, lightweight upper, bouncy, responsive ride. You can rely a little bit more on the geometry on this shoe, being high up and rolling off and having such a firm plate up front. Can really lean itself well to those longer distances like the marathon and half. For me, I have struggled a little bit having it down at the 5K type distances, or well, anything 10K and faster really. As long as I even pace it, it's fine, but I do notice when I try to sprint or do anything faster than that kind of a pace, I tend to struggle a little bit in that shoe. Deviate NItro Elite, a little bit lower to the ground. The Puma foam in the Deviate NItro Elite is a little bit softer, but you do have a full contact outsole, relatively full contact, a little bit more of a flexible plate, but you get a little bit more of that ground feel and you just feel a little bit more connected in this shoe. The transitions are much more balanced. They're not quite as poppy, shall we say, but everything feels nice and fluid from heel to toe. A little bit more flexibility on the plate there, but from a comfort standpoint feels really nice. I actually have had more success with the Deviate NItro Elite on the track for myself. Did a 2:12.800 yesterday, gearing up for a 5K coming up next week. Now that's faster than 5K pace for me, but I've been able to do okay in the Deviate NItro Elite at paces like that, where I have struggled a little bit in the Next% 2. So at faster paces, I have noticed that this shoe is a little bit nicer and does kind of lean with, like, say, the Takumi Sen or the Streakfly, where they have a little bit more flexible forefoots as well. I think there might be something to that as far as the shorter distances go. Now, at longer distances, I think you can kind of flip a coin on these guys. For comfort reasons, I would personally go with Deviate NItro Elite. I think it's just a more comfortable transition and ride for myself. But you get a little bit more stack out of the Vaporfly. You can rely on that geometry a little bit more down the stretch. Those who have a little bit of midfoot instability may struggle with the narrow last there. So it's all just personal preferences. But obviously, I mean, Molly Seidel medaled in the Puma Deviate NItro Elite. A handful of other people medaled in the Vaporfly Next%. Both great shoes, both at the top of the market and at the top of their game. So just some things to look out for. A little bit of a wider fit on the Puma Deviate NItro Elite, a little bit more balanced, kind of more of a traditional, it's like a hybrid between a traditional running shoe and an elite racing shoe, whereas Next% 2 is definitely gearing towards those racing type profiles. So if you like the video, please subscribe and check us out at doctorsofrunning.com.